All right, guys, we are back with more news about Helldivers 2. Now, it seems that Helldivers 2 only ever makes the headlines for the wrong reasons. You could argue that once in a while there's something based or something good that comes out of the discussions around this game, but unfortunately, this is a game that has been mired in controversy, as I'm sure you can just see from a brief search on that Park Place's website. For Helldivers, just piles and piles of stories over the last year. Unfortunately, not all of them good for Helldivers and Arrowhead Studios, given the fact that there are a lot of left-wing activists who work at the company who have done things like ban people for talking about non-offensive things on the Discord server, people who have said if you complain about furry LGBT fan art on the server, you'll be banned, essentially like banning people from the Twitter page. I mean, there's all levels of unhinged insanity from these people who are hired as these community managers who feel like they have power over people on social media to control what they do and say. So, unfortunately, like I said, there's been a lot of negative news about Helldivers 2, including like the PlayStation account requirements to link your account that a lot of people were furious about and that actually caused the CEO and Sony to get together and say, hey, we're not going to do this. We're not going to make the players do this. They're pissed about it. We're going to walk this back. So now we have Kotaku seething over a statement made by Arrowhead CEO, and this is beautiful to see, because even if what he's saying is only a half-truth, it's enough to piss off Ethan Gatch, however the heck you say his name, over at Kotaku, and it's a beautiful thing to see. So this article from Kotaku says, Helldivers 2 dev says make good games, not contemporary political statements. Shocking! That sounds like another person that we've covered in the last year or so, Saber CEO over at the studio that made Space Marine 2, saying basically the exact same thing about games needing to be fun and not preaching at their players. Of course, even the CEO of Larian Studios that made Baldur's Gate 3, they were the ones saying, hey, you know what, maybe you should just make a great game that players are going to love and then they'll reward you with their money. It's like, what a crazy concept, right? So the article here says that Helldivers 2 is one of the biggest surprise success stories of last year, selling over 10 million copies and becoming a cultural phenomenon. The Alien Shooter's creative director kicked off 2025 by asking fans about their hopes and dreams for Arrowhead Games Studios' future projects, culminating in a brief exchange about DEI and politics in games. And anytime that politics in games come up over here with Kotaku, they're going to be furious if you have any pushback against modern politics being injected into current year gaming and entertainment. With 10 minutes to 2025, Arrowhead CEO turned Chief Creative Officer Johan Pilestedt tweeted on December 31st, "What are your expectations and desires for what the next Arrowhead game will be? I am wondering on the high concept, but I would love to hear your speculation." Hundreds of fans responded. One wrote back, "Never add DEI to your games," referencing the acronym for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Initiatives, which, here you go, here's Kotaku's spin on it. Anti-woke culture scolds often used as shorthand for perceived efforts to force progressive values into video games and other art and entertainment. Despite its innocuous roots, DEI has become a loaded term in online debates, not because of what it actually means, but for what it symbolizes to certain reactionary groups. Once again, Kotaku saying, it's not real, but if it is real, it's a good thing, and you're just a bigot. Pilestedt, who has a reputation among the sprawling Helldivers 2 community for speaking often and openly on social media, replied with a more general and ambiguous proclamation about development. "If it doesn't add to the game experience, it detracts," he tweeted back, "and games should be a pure pursuit of amazing moments." "How would DEI have benefited Helldivers 2?" asked another user. Pilestedt responded, "I don't like labels, but mankind is united into extreme xenophobia on Super Earth. Hashtag inclusion, so maybe that's DEI. I really don't care. Make good games, don't make a contemporary political statement." Now again, this could be almost perceived as two separate thoughts or two separate viewpoints combined into one statement. You could definitely say that this is him trying to deflect from the question, not wanting to make a commitment one way or the other, but that last statement is pretty definitive. Make good games, don't make a contemporary political statement. Once again, nobody has a problem with games that have a political theme or maybe even a subtle political message to it. What we have a problem with is this heavy-handed, beat you over the head with it messaging, these lectures that come in modern entertainment, where you simply can't enjoy it because the entire time you're reminded, oh yes, by the way, colonizers bad, and oh yes, supremacy bad, and oh yes, racism bad. And it's like, okay guys, we get it. Just let us enjoy our fantasy, video game or movie or whatever for 5 minutes. The irony of the tightrope being walked, distancing Helldivers 2 from the current online culture wars while not outright rejecting them, is that the sci-fi shooter is loaded with political allegories, satire, and parodies of fascist propaganda. One of the central wars players fight in the game is for oil. Helldivers 2 lore is funny and unapologetically political. Bugs are oil, bots are commies, managed democracy is a scam, reads a PC Gamer headline back at launch. Now again, I'm not saying that Helldivers 2 does not poke fun at certain elements of fascism or extremism in politics, sure. But this is PC Gamer here. But let's not get ahead of ourselves quoting PC Gamer, okay? Pilestedt might mean that Helldivers 2 simply steers clear of any direct references to hot-button issues in contemporary news headlines. That might offer enough distance to inoculate the game from certain modern political controversies, but it also might be a distinction without a difference when it comes to people who consider any game that makes a point they disagree with to be unnecessarily political. Yawn. Okay, dude, whatever. For others, DEI is just code for criticizing any game that doesn't star, here you go, white guys, as the idiotic reaction by some to Naughty Dog's Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet reveal trailer has made nauseatingly clear. Yes, because comparing, games that are disgustingly woke like Intergalactic looks to maybe we just shouldn't have, some politics in our games. Maybe we should just have a fun, enjoyable experience without having a lecture in the background. Quite the comparison he draws there. So it gets a little more interesting. Again, Grums has been in the middle of this. He's, again, a term that they don't allow on the community Discord for Helldivers 2. You can't mention or talk about Grums on there or even say his name as far as I know. Him saying these are great words, but maybe, until you take action, they're just that, words. Do you stand by them? Stand by rejecting DEI? Then why do you continue to allow your community moderators to ban anti-DEI sentiment in your Discord server? Why do you ban any mention of me? And again, I can understand from the perspective of we want our game to be the primary purpose of our Discord server existing. We don't want to have discussions about politics and DEI in our Discord server. I can understand that. I'm not one of these guys who agrees with every single thing that Grums or anybody else tweets out. I can understand a nuanced argument or a difference of opinion, if you will. But just mentioning Grums or talking about certain aspects of certain, ideas even, resulting in getting banned, or talking about how, essentially any right-winger is going to get banned because you just, you can't stand those people on your Discord server is absolutely insane. Savvy says, what's a really funny trend is any company that actively makes anti-DEI remarks has a sales boost. Any company that makes pro-DEI remarks generally loses sales. And this is something we have seen very true, very, very many times, time and time again. She goes on to say the club's falling apart. DEI will eventually be a thing of the past, but first we must make sure it doesn't take hold as Bridge. And of course, Bridge is how they're rebranding the term DEI. So again, 2025 is going to be the year the unemployment line grows. And that's very true, because not only is it just DEI and all this other crap in gaming that's caused a lot of this downfall, if you will, of the AAA video game industry, but we've seen just closures across the board from overspending, resulting in, I think it's about 12 to 15,000 people who've lost their job in the video game industry in the last year. It's pretty insane. But of course, Grums isn't convinced. He says, I can't believe all you said was that you were a Grums fan, bannable offense, appeal rejected. And he's talking about GigaBear, somebody who's also been the center of conversation on Twitter and on YouTube, saying they must really hate Grums. Sad. Apparently he tried to rejoin the Helldivers Discord and his appeal was rejected. Again, I can't make claims about what he did or didn't say in the Discord server to result in him being banned. All I know is we have seen with our own eyes that their community manager, a lot of their people that they have hired over at Arrowhead to run their social media, their front-facing outlets, if you will, are pretty unhinged, lunatic behavior people. So that being said, guys, let me know what you think about all this. Is Arrowhead going to be headed in the right direction? Is this just the CEO trying to deflect? Is this him trying to just walk that tightrope and not have to commit to either side? Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below, and I will catch you guys on the next one.